In this video, we will be creating a log analyzer. By the end of this video, you will learn what log files are, how attackers appear in logs, how to read log files using Python, detect repeated login failures, and build a mini SOC analysis tool. And if you guys will be commenting that we have already created SOC analysis, not SOC analysis, log analyzer tool multiple times in the previous videos, I know that. But I have only used like as a example to show you how classes works and what classes are. So that was not a real SOC analysis log analyzer tool. I'm sorry for saying SOC analysis every time when I'm trying to say log analyzer. It's just because SOC analyst uses log analyzer mostly, so that's why. Okay, so let's begin. And before we begin, if you are learning Python for cybersecurity, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and comment logs down below. So first of all, let's talk about what are log files. So first of all, what are log files? Server records activities like login attempts, errors, requests, or system events. So for example, some entries like you can say failed login. So for example, you have a log file and it stores all the entries of login, failed login from, and the IP here like this. And security analyst looks for repeated failed login, suspicious IP address. For example, your network is based on this IP and there's a failed login from external network, and that can be 10, 12, 13, 14. I'm using a random IP here. Okay, so now let's first create a log file for ourselves. For that, we will be creating a log file named auth.log, auth.log. Okay, and here we can say failed login from 192.168.1.10, and let's just repeat this one more time. And successful login from, okay, it takes tab to do it like this, 192.168.1.5, and failed login from 10.0.0.2 and failed login from 192.168.1.10. Okay, so our log file is ready, and let me check if my autosave is enabled. Okay, it's not. Okay, now it will save the file automatically whenever I make any changes. Okay, so now our auth.log is created. So now let's try to read our log file with some file handling. Okay, now we say with open, and we'll be trying to open auth.log file. And we'll be opening our log file in our as file, and logs equals to file.readlines. Okay, so let's try running it, and it's saying no such file or directory in logs. Okay, why so? Okay, so now the problems is this, that there is no such file or directory at the location because I am in Python, but my actual location is programs folder. So what I can do here is, first I can do ls or dir to list my folders, and you can see there's a folder called programs, so we'll just simply cd into that. Okay, so now we are in the right folder. So now let's try running it. Okay, now output, interesting. Okay, so let's just open the VS Code directly here only. Right, I clicked right click with pressed shift button. Okay, now let's open the log analyzer file. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. And if we run it, okay, it's working normally. Okay, after that, we'll use a dictionary to track attempts. And if you are like thinking why I changed the location, because in future if I ran the file again, like after closing the terminal, it would have gone to the desktop Python folder again. So I opened in that folder only, so that problem won't like appear again and again. So now let's create a dictionary called attempts, and this will be an empty dictionary. And after that we'll say for line in logs. So we'll be using a for loop in the logs file, and if failed login in line IP equals to line dot split, and we'll be reversing it. Okay, so if IP in failed underscore attempts IP and plus equals to 1. And if you're wondering why I'm getting the like already typed code here, it's because I have signed in with GitHub in my VS Code. So GitHub Copilot is trying to like suggest the ahead of the code. Okay, so after that we'll be using else, so I'm just hitting tab, and here it's saying yeah, exactly this line. Okay, so after that we'll be printing here suspicious activity report. Suspicious activity report slash n for IP count in failed underscore attempts dot items. If count less than equals to 3, print suspicious IP comma IP. Okay, and print failed attempts comma count. Okay, so now let's try running our file, and we can see first, let me just clear the terminal. Okay, so now we can see it says suspicious activity report, suspicious IP, and failed attempts. And if you check the auth.logs file here, you can see the 192.168 IP failed 3 times only. So it's showing the correct amount. So now the question comes is how real security teams uses this. Security team analyze logs from Linux authentication logs, web server logs, firewall logs, and cloud logs. And they use tools like Splunk, Elk Stack, and CM platforms. And that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. And if you have any suggestion or ideas about like future videos related to Python or any project, you can comment down below, and I'll make sure that I'll be making video on it very soon.